Hello, welcome to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get right into the next week's love outlook for the sign of Pisces. Before we get into it, let me remind you all the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Deck and Guidebook is what I'm giving away this month on my channel. Every month I do give away a tarot deck, an oracle deck, and here on the back you can see these are the cards. If you haven't seen them before, a lot of you who watch a lot of readers online, you will be familiar with these. I use them in my weekly, so it's a beautiful deck. It's a great deck for a beginner. It's also a great deck for someone who has actually been using tarot for a long time. Like myself, I've been reading tarot over 25 years, nearly 30 years now, and still this deck is one of those decks that I get so much out of the more and more I use it. Now, all you have to do to be eligible to win this is to be subscribed to my channel and to just leave me one comment anywhere on any of my videos letting me know that you are interested in being in the drawing. You can even just say interested. That's it, right? And that is enough for me to have you in the drawing. Now, the one thing about that I do have to let you all know, a lot of you are subscribed to my channel and you want to be in the drawing, but you don't show up as being a subscriber because you haven't made that public. Okay, so everybody who's on YouTube, anyone who is on searching on YouTube, when you sign into YouTube, whether you're a creator or not, you can choose to publicize your subscription so that other people can see what channels you're subscribed to. Unless that feature is turned on, unless you've turned that on to public, I can't tell if you're a subscriber. And so you may be thinking you're in the drawing for the deck because you subscribed, but I don't know unless you've turned that on. So I just wanted to make a point of saying that, and I think I'm gonna have to like say it in most of the videos so that everybody gets it, because not everybody watches the video long enough or sees that message. So all right, Pisces, let's get right into it. This is going to be a reading for you and your person, right? So this is an outlook for a connection, a love connection that you have with someone. Now, the connection may be falling out now, or may be coming into a state of crisis or challenge, or it may be doing very well. It could even be in separation, but we are going to be pulling cards for them and cards for you. So it's definitely a look that we're going to have into a real connection that you have with someone. Now, it's a general look. We're not looking into any specific areas of that connection. It's just a general outlook for the week. And so this may or may not resonate with you depending on how the energies the energies play out in this particular reading and in my interpretation. But of course, as you're watching, Seven of Swords is how your person resonates with themselves this week, how they're coming in, and you're coming in as King of Pentacles. All right, let's get into it. They see you as the Ace of Swords, and you see them as the Fool. All right, Pisces. And they see their role in the relationship as a Page of Swords, and you see your role in the relationship as the Tower. Now, this is interesting. The Tower has shown up a lot for the weekly love outlooks this week. At bottom of the deck, we have Five of Swords. And this reading is interesting because we have an abundance of swords. You are, of course, a water sign, Pisces. But you have a lot of swords. Your person is certainly resonating with swords energy. All right, so this is very, very interesting that once again, another reading will come out with the Tower. And as I was going to say, just as I was laying out the cards, you're sitting here, you're watching the video along with others, right? You may or may not be resonating or wondering, you may just be starting to wonder if you're even going to resonate with this reading, but something has called you here for a reason. And so I do hope you get something out of this reading for your next week, Pisces, even if you do not resonate with the entire message. More and more will come out as we get into it, and I do encourage you that since you have been drawn to the video, try to watch all of it, or if you can't watch all of it, come back to it later, because oftentimes there's different intricacies and specifications that come out towards the end of the reading. All right, guys, let's get right into it, Pisces. Your person is resonating with Seven of Swords this week coming in, and you're resonating with King of Pentacles. Now, the Seven of Swords, again, here we go. Right away, we're starting off with a, somewhat toxic energy, especially with you seeing your role as a Tower. Right away, I can look ahead and see that this relationship is causing a lot for you. It's impacting you a lot. But we start off with your person resonating with Seven of Swords, which is the card for futility and treachery. The Seven of Swords I often sort of describe as, this is the tortoise and the hare. Have you ever heard of that story, the tortoise and the hare, where they're in a race, and you know, it's like the hare assumes he's going to win because he's a faster animal, right? So he relaxes. He doesn't run right off, on the race. He just kind of relaxes. He takes a nap. This is famously depicted, I believe, by Bugs Bunny, one of the cartoons, and so many other stories, right? And so the hare kind of cuts corners. Meanwhile, the tortoise, which is a slow animal, just methodically keeps working and working and working. Eventually, the hare realizes, oh shit, he needs to hurry up and get on a race, and then everything that he does fails. He just doesn't catch up. He keeps trying to cut corners. He keeps trying to cut corners instead of just putting the work in, because he really didn't feel like he had to put the work in. And the reason why I call Seven of Swords this tortoise and hare story, it talks about a sense of feeling futility, but I want you to understand the reason why. The essence of that story is how the hare behaves. He assumes he should win, right? He assumes that by virtue of him being naturally faster than the tortoise, it's his right to win, right? It's what he deserves. It's what he should have by virtue of being a faster animal. And in his mind, the reason why he ends up failing is because he never feels as though he really should put the actual effort in, right? And so his vision of himself is very much distorted in a very narcissistic way. I'm the fastest animal, and so therefore I shouldn't have to use any of my skills of being fast. I should just be the winner. I should just be allowed to cut corners and not put the work in. And that essence, that toxic kind of very narcissistic energy, is the essence of Seven of Swords, which is why I use that story to describe this card. It's someone who generally, and this is why the card is also associated with treachery, because just as the story with the hare and the tortoise, the hare will then resort to all kinds of treacherous means to win the race. Also, cheating and stealing and, whatever, to win, he will resort to that rather than putting the work in, and it still doesn't work. Seven of Swords is the card for futility, but it's also the card for somebody who's willing to go that extra mile, to be quite treacherous. They're willing to rob you or steal from you. They're often somebody who's very close to you. So this is oftentimes also the thief in the night. It's a really sort of interesting toxicity in this card with Seven of Swords, right? Seven is the number for dreams and aspirations in tarot. And here we have somebody who they want to covet what you have so badly, but they're just not willing to work for it. Now, for your person to be resonating with this kind of energy coming in is really, really interesting, because it's a toxic energy that somebody could see themselves resonating in without realizing how toxic it is. Just like the hare doesn't realize what, how ridiculous it is for him to be cheating, right, to win a race that he thought he should, by virtue of his natural capabilities, win anyway. The person who resonates with this energy really feels like they deserve what they're taking, or they deserve what they're failing at getting. Because if it's a sense of futility, they keep failing and failing at it, but they feel like they really deserve it. And this is where this energy can turn a little bit toxic, because at some point, while they're failing to achieve it, they become quite toxic about it, and now they're willing to do anything and cut any corners, and this is where the treachery comes. I take a moment to explain this because this is a very shocking card for your person to be resonating with, Pisces. You're resonating with King of Pentacles, and of course the King of Pentacles is all about abundance. King of Pentacles can be a business owner. He can be a boss. He can be someone who is very, very successful in their career. They may even have a specific career in finance, but it could also just be someone who's very ambitious about their career, whatever career it is, and that they make a lot of money and have a lot of sort of, I want to say, success under their belt, material success. Now, Pentacles, I've been more and more emphasizing to my collective that Pentacles isn't just about money and abundance, but it is also the realm of the physical body. So Pentacles energies can also be associated with indicating our states of physical health. A King of Pentacles individual could absolutely also be a doctor, a healer, a master health practitioner, right? And I think right now in this time when a lot of people are in that field, I want a lot of my collective to understand that a lot of times when you see these Pentacle court cards, even if they're not about being an accountant necessarily, they don't have to be, or they don't have to be about somebody who makes their money with a business that buys and sells and things like that. It can also be somebody who's at a very high level, or certainly a very successful, ambitious level in a healthcare career. It could be nurses, doctors, healthcare workers, right? Therapists. But someone who has a high degree of ambition in that area and who has a high degree of success. Oftentimes, King of Pentacles can then also be someone who is nurturing and a mentor in their field or their career, and a teacher in those things of how to manifest your dreams. This is the nature of the King of Pentacles. And you're resonating with this, Pisces. So you're resonating with a high degree of abundance this week coming in, respect, success. You're in a very good, stable position materially. Right? In your environment, financially, health-wise, you're doing very, very well. And you have a lot of authority in that area. Now, we're going to get deeper into your reading. I'm going to pull more cards later, but we're going to get deeper and come back to that Seven of Swords. This is how you guys see each other. Your person sees you as an Ace of Swords, and you see them as a Fool. So this is interesting. I say a fool, but not, I say a fool, and that gives it certainly a different connotation. Isn't it interesting how language can change? Rather than saying you see them as the Fool, meaning the Fool in the tarot, has a very different connotation. Now, they see you as Ace of Swords, and Ace of Swords is someone who's brilliant, inventive, clear, logical. They see you as a source of really someone who can, have a lot of sort of mental, I want to say, impact, right? You are a breath of fresh air for them to a certain degree. Ace of Swords can indicate a mental breath of fresh air where you're dealing with somebody who's on a mental level that it's like, oh my gosh, finding someone I can talk to, because we all have different levels that we're at and different things we're interested in. And so here for you, your person sees you as that. They see you as a real sort of breath of fresh air mentality-wise, as someone who is certainly very intelligent, someone who is very sort of logical, but also someone who can be a source of problem solving, right? They feel like you can certainly be an avenue to them in their lives which can help them overcome certain issues. Now, that's interesting because this is a very nice and favorable way of looking at you when we're talking about a love connection, but it does indicate a sense of victory also to a certain degree. Like if they see you as an Ace of Swords brings in a victory. And so to a certain degree, when I come back to this toxic energy here, I feel like, for them, when somebody has a certain amount of toxicity in them, it's going to color all of their thinking and attitudes, right? They're not suddenly toxic in one area of their lives, right? And in one way of how they move about the world. And then suddenly they're this like really noble person and another immoral person. So for them to see you as an Ace of Swords, I think part of that is a little narcissism on their part in the sense that you represent a victory for them also. Not only do they see you as a source of intelligence and someone they can talk to, a breath of fresh air, but certainly you serve a purpose to them, which in their mind is something akin to a victory for them. So it may be that they feel like a victory that they've gotten into a relationship with you, or that they feel a sense of victory because they know that they can accomplish something that they haven't been able to accomplish before. They can now accomplish it with you, which of course is a positive energy in a relationship. Of course, you want to be able to conquer the world with your lover. But if you're coming from that toxic energy here of Seven of Swords where you really feel like you deserve these winds, right? Which is that's a skew energy. That's more low vibrational, because that's a feeling of you feeling like you're better than others. You deserve it. Well, does that mean nobody else deserves it? You know what I mean? That's a value system. In any case, this is what I mean. There's a little bit of that skews this. Now, you see them as the Fool. And for you, I think it's like you're dealing with somebody perhaps that's much younger. Right? They're already resonating with the Page over here. You're resonating as a King, and then you see them as the Fool, right? And so for them, you're a breath of fresh air, excuse me, but also someone who can help them. So this really indicates to me that you are definitely a bit ahead of them in terms of wisdom and experience. And you see them very much as a Fool. So it's not like you are threatened by them at all. I don't think that you feel threatened by this energy here, where they're a little bit, and this doesn't necessarily mean they have to be super treacherous, by the way, Pisces. But it just means this is the essence of the card, and this is how they're resonating coming into this week. So they may be feeling a bit desperate this week, or they may just be feeling that other side of the card, which is the main thing with the card, which is futility. The main essence of Seven of Swords is a sense of futility in trying to achieve what you want to achieve. And so you may be seeing this, and you're having a much more benevolent kind of look at it, right? Because you're looking from on high, where maybe you've been through some of the things they've been through, right? Maybe you've been through some of the challenges they've been through, and you understand why they are resonating like this. And by the way, we all resonate with some toxic energy, sometimes low vibrational energy, because all of that comes from fear. All of those energies, even if they are the energy of treachery, right, which I'm not sure your person is, but certainly the energy of futility, all of that comes from a sense of fear, right? You could say that the Hare doesn't bother putting the effort in because ideally, deep down inside, not ideally, but really deep down inside, he doesn't want to do it because he fears failure, right? Part of him is not confident that even though he has everything he needs as far as his skill and his natural makeup to win the race, that he will fail anyway. So he begins to find reasons why he doesn't have to work at it, right? While still maintaining his ego and his pride. It still comes from fear, though, right? And so this is just what I'm saying, that we all resonate with this energy sometimes, and you're having a very sort of kind look at it. Now, how you guys see your role in the relationship? Your person is seeing their role as a Page of Swords, which is trying to maintain their self-confidence and self-esteem. You see your role as the Tower. Now, the Tower has come out in this position like for a couple of readings, and I really, this is the position for how you see your role in a relationship. And so interpreting some of the heavier cards like the Tower really depends on my intuitive feel and my intuitive read of the message that the cards are presenting, right? Other people may interpret these cards differently. This is how I interpret based on my knowledge, my skill, my experience, and my intuition. And so here in this reading, it's almost as if you are serving the role of being the Tower in this relationship. So shaking up the relationship, or shaking up certainly your person in the relationship. Because let's remember that the Tower is just Saturn. The Tower is associated with Saturn energy, first of all. And so for those of you who are into astrology, when you look at the benefits of Saturn, because there are all benefits, right? And all of these experiences, the benefits of Saturn is being forced to push through our limitations, right? Saturn is a limiting planet, from what I understand. I'm not an astrologer. I'm a tarot reader. This is just my sort of working knowledge of what I understand. And if you're an astrologer, please sound off below and let the collective know if I'm wrong or if there's a better way to describe it. But my understanding is that Saturn is the planet in which we are at battle to a certain degree with ourselves, because we're limited. We find ourselves, being forced to experience our limitations and to break through those limitations. So there's a lot of angst associated with it, and there's a lot of rebuilding and tearing down and rebuilding associated, which is why the Tower card is associated with Saturn energy. And it almost feels to me that the energy that you're bringing in with your experience here is that you are serving as a tower for your person, in as much as they are learning through you and through your wisdom, through your experience, through the kind of benevolent love that you are to a certain degree looking at them with. Because to see them as a fool is quite gentle. Right? This is an understanding that you have, that they are entering into a new phase of understanding. And so you are seeing it from outside their bubble. And it seems to me that, when we see the tower is about breaking down our own limited understanding of the world and making room for a bigger tower. Right? The tower represents our beliefs, our ideas, how we see the world, how we see ourselves in the world, what we believe to be true. Right? The tenets and the ideals and the morals and all of the things that we personally, for each of us, hold to be true. There are certain things, certain truths that we hold on to, or certain ideas that we hold on to. That's what the tower represents. And then when you have a tower moment, something comes into your life divinely, usually, which is an experience, an event that was completely out of your hands, or anything really, but it comes into your life and it rocks the foundations of that. But it's ultimately good, because when those foundations are rocked, the new tower that you inevitably will build, because we all have to build a tower, and hold on to that tower until it's time to bring it down and rebuild it. But the new tower you build will have bigger understandings and more understanding. So I say this because a lot of you are, you see a tower moment, and I always get this in comments, and it's like, you're like, oh shit, a tower moment. But it's like, yeah, I know it's rough. But it's rough on the ego. That's who it's rough for. It's just rough on the ego, because you're having to realize that perhaps you were incorrect about something, but ultimately it's the best thing for your soul. Let's see what these clarifiers are. 10 of Pentacles. Cross watchers, you know that 10 of Pentacles has been showing up everywhere. Also, you know that 2 of Pentacles has been showing up everywhere. And I said this before. So here's your 7 of Swords coming out as a reaffirmation. 7 of Swords up here. This is 7 of Swords down here. All right, Pisces. And you have the Hermit. Okay, so there you go. Hermit energy coming in for you. This is interesting. Bottom of this deck, you have 4 of Pentacles. So there's more fear. And this is fear over financials, right? Fear over finances, fear over health. Again, 4 is the number for stability in the tarot. And so with 4 of Pentacles, we talk about anxiety or fear of losing what you have established, your power base. A lot of times this can be money, but this can also be your power base, your authority, right? Wherever you have established your grounding and your base, in the material world. That can be even your home. It doesn't have to be just directly your cash flow. It can be your home. If wherever it is though that you sort of have established your grounding and your power at in the world, you feel as though it's being threatened. A lot of times 4 of Pentacles can come across as miserly or greedy energy. It is associated with that in a lot of tarot decks. And miserliness and greediness is just another symptom of fear. And ultimately, it is the fear of exactly what I just said. It's the fear or the anxiety that what you've established, the security and stability that you've established in this real material world is somehow being threatened from the outside, from whatever, right? This could be a job, where you live, whatever. Like I said, it's just that feeling. You may be feeling like, I'm going to lose my job, I'm going to lose my livelihood, or I'm going to lose my apartment or my house, right? Or it can also sometimes indicate health, but more or less it's indicating the material things that you have accumulated and held on to. Ideally, that's what this card is talking about. So interestingly enough, again, I said cross watchers, you will see that the same cards have really come out a lot this week. 10 of Pentacles, 2 of Pentacles, because there's a lot of financial upheaval. Right? Now, let me get to, I'm going to do their cards first, and then I'll get to your clarifiers. Pisces, they're resonating with 10 of Pentacles and 2 of Pentacles. So again, there's this sense, 10 of Pentacles, there's a heavy degree of financial abundance and success, but right now, I think that they have this, right? I do think that they have this, but I think right now they're going through a real 2 of Pentacles moment this coming week. Now, 2 of Pentacles has shown up everywhere because it is absolute flux. Everyone's going through it. Two of Pentacles is feeling like you're having to juggle a million balls and keep them all in the air to maintain yourself, right? It is being an absolute flux when it comes to money, livelihood, work, everything like that. Everything to do with business, work, and career, sustaining yourself, right? Sustaining your livelihood, all of that. When we talk about Two of Pentacles, it is one of the most chaotic cards in the deck for that, right? It's a constant balancing act, and that balancing act is very, very chaotic, right? So, and you don't know where you're going to land. So this is a feeling that everybody is going through. Now, your person has 10 of Pentacles here also, and that's a feeling to me like they are definitely someone who's used to having money. So your person is very much used to having abundance and having money. And again, earlier I said the Seven of Swords, it doesn't mean that they're extremely treacherous. And it doesn't even mean that they are, in general, a narcissistic person. But it is a toxic energy. And this week is what they're resonating with. Now, we can say that if they're not normally like this, right? Because again, Ace of Swords was, in general, a very nice feeling that they have about you. And then when they resonate as Page of Swords is someone, by the way, if I didn't spend long enough on it, is someone who really maintains a positive self-image. They maintain self-confidence. They're constantly fighting off negative doubts and feelings and energies that are coming at them, either from without or from within. And so these are quite positive energies. So the Seven of Swords could be, Pisces, that you're dealing with somebody who this week is just like freaking the fuck out. Right? And they feel like nothing they're doing is working because, again, this is the card for futility at its heart. So it could be that your person is resonating with a sense of futility, not necessarily the deeper toxic essence of it, but just they may be feeling like that because they may be feeling very much out of control. And this is where the clarifiers come in. If they are feeling very out of control or unsure about their finances, this sense of futility may be coming in. They may be feeling quite morose about it, right? Because they see themselves as someone who is, their role in the relationship is to be uplifting and positive. So here we have something that's totally at odds. Five of Swords is at the bottom of the deck. So somebody's got a battle. It could be that your person is battling with somebody right now. And this battle may be in their family, it may be in their social circle or at their work, right? And it's this battle that's making them feel futile because Five of Swords is a power dynamic in which you just decide, like, look, I'm going to throw my hands up. I can't be bothered arguing with you anymore. A lot of people, there has been a lot of this energy in all of the readings because I think that right now what everyone is going through, this is a worldwide situation that everyone is having. And I'm not going to mention the name of what's going on because, like, right now, even the online systems are, like, flagging videos if they have the words in the video, and the video may not have anything to do with it. But we all know what everyone is dealing with, right? Everyone is dealing with issues to do with money and housing and health and being able to sustain themselves right now while everyone is being told to stay indoors and shut down society effectively. So all of these readings I've been doing this week have had this running theme. The Tower has been everywhere. Two of Pentacles has been everywhere, yet a lot of 10 of Pentacles have shown up. And a lot of you have been dealing with people who have been having Five of Swords energies. They're having battles with people. And I think that's also to do with people being on both sides. Really, this is a time when passions run high and ideas run high. And there are going to be, just as there are going to be people coming together, there are going to be more and more people battling. And your person is going through that. Seven of Swords has come out to reconfirm that. And so you're dealing with that too, this feeling of futility. Right? I think you feel that. I think you're feeling that for your person because it's interesting the Seven of Swords will come in on your side also as a clarifier. So this is definitely a feeling that is pervasive in your relationship this week. However, the energy of the Hermit is there. And again, this could be you both feeling as a couple. It may be that you're both feeling, this could be another aspect to this, is that you both may be feeling very much resonating with the sense of futility because you just simply feel helpless. You feel like there's nothing you can do to change the situation. You're coming in with Hermit energy, and again, I do feel you might be dealing with somebody who's a bit younger than you. They may be indeed used to having abundance like you also having a success, but again, They may be a bit younger, a little less experienced, and you're bringing the Hermit in. And I think this is very powerful, Pisces, because what you're bringing in is the lesson of how to handle this. And it is a tower moment for your person, because your role in this relationship, as you see it, is to bring a tower moment. So yes, it's a shocker, but it is a moment to expand your horizons, and it's a shocker for your person, not for you. But I think what's going to be shocking is this Hermit energy that you're bringing and this wisdom, and really getting your person maybe even to look at things from a different point of view. Because once again, they see you as resonating with the Ace of Swords, and that indicates that you're bringing a whole new way of thinking and looking at the world to their world. And they see that, because that's what Ace of Swords is. Right? And so again, this is this dynamic I'm talking about of you really impacting them with your wisdom and your new way of thinking. New to them, not new to you, but it's like your whole attitude, mentality, your logic, and your way of understanding things is blowing their mind and is new to them. And so in this situation where you're both feeling very futile about your lives and what you can really do, you may be coming up with this whole kind of maybe strategy, I want to say, or what have you. A lot of it is going to be pulling from your Hermit energy skills, your ability to know how to live off the grid, maybe even, right? This may be something that you are bringing to the table, and it's a shocker for your person because they're new to all of this, right? It's causing a tower moment of some sorts, but this tower moment to me feels very positive in the long run. It feels like a learning moment. Let me pull out your romance angel messages. This reading was a little longer. I spent a little bit more time for my lovely Pisces because you guys are always at the last of the list when I'm doing the readings. Some of them, when I go through the list, either from Aries to Pisces. This week I went by element, and you guys were the last ones in the last element, of course, of water. Just wanted to spend a little longer with you guys. I do love my Pisces. I was raised by 2 Pisces, so I always love Pisces. And my Mars energy is in Pisces, even though I'm a Sagittarius with a lot of fire in my sign. I resonate strongly with Pisces. Let me do a blind pull. So I close my eyes and do a blind pull with these. See what the angels have to say. Attraction. So that is definitely there. Of course, there's love and attraction. Let's see, one more. And we have forgiving and learning. So forgiving and learning and attraction. So this is nice. It's nice energy. So again, we started somewhere, and this is why I say for those of you who have made it to the end of the reading, I'm glad you could make it, right? And this is why I say something called you to this reading for a reason. Because we start off the reading with the energies of how you guys are presenting, and I get the message as we go on, as we read the cards. In the initial stages, you know, there's certain energies that come off, and then certainly as we read the cards, as I get into the cards and read the energies, you know, there's different threads in the message coming out. And this one here from the angels is attraction, forgiving, and learning. So there's a lot of learning going on here, and there is a tower moment. And of course, there could be something here where it may have been very difficult for your person to accept this new way or this new idea. But again, this is a beautiful, strong relationship that has a lot of attraction, right? So we're reaffirming that. So even if you're arguing or maybe you're not on the same page, you know, don't forget that you guys love each other, you're attracted. And this is a week of forgiving and learning. And so this is going to play in some way into your situation, okay? Whatever that case may be, right? Again, I said a 5 of Swords battle. If this battle is a battle that your person or you and your person are having with friends, family, work colleagues, again, forgiving and learning is being called upon for your situation, you know. If it's something between the two of you, then talking about it. So it really depends on your situation, but these are the messages from the angels, and I think they're very good. All right, Pisces, I'm going to leave it at that. This is your reading from March 22nd to the 29th. I do hope that you got something out of it. I hope that it gave you some clarity for whatever reason. You were called to this video by virtue of you watching it, and I'm so glad if you could make it to the end. Please don't forget to let me know if you're interested in the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Deck and Guidebook giveaway, which I am doing March 31st. All right. Now, of course, hopefully we will be able to have this delivered to you because non-essential deliveries are not happening from Amazon. But hook or crook, I will try to get it to you, whether I have to go to my local store to purchase it and just ship it directly or go to the publishers. We'll figure it out. But in any case, don't forget, watch my channel on the 31st of March. Be subscribed, leave me a comment letting me know you're interested, and then when you watch the winner video, which will be released on March 31st at noon, hit those bells. You will find out your name, if you are the winner, will be announced, and I will be expecting you to contact me by email to give me your details so I can ship the deck out to you. All right, Pisces, I love you so much. Check out your other readings. Please like, subscribe, and share. Consider joining as a member. You get to use my awesome, cool, custom emojis that I've created for my members. I've created like a really cool sword and a sun. It's awesome, and like this little moon. The more members I get, the more emojis I can create. Eventually, I'll be able to create one for each of your star signs, and they could be really cool ideas coming in as well. I'm just excited with the whole membership because it opens up everything to be so creative. All right, guys, but for right now, I love you so much, Pisces. I shall see you next week for your weekly love outlook. Take care now. Bye-bye.